Hello and welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. I'm Stephanie Soebbing. We have got some brand new quilty goodies to show you today. We have an epically large holiday collection from Moda Fabrics called Comfort and Joy. We'll show you that first. And then we came up with some new beginner kits. This is our beginner quilt course, our intro to quilting, and it is completely free to take. And we have just released a brand new academy.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. It's called Quilt Addicts Anonymous Academy, and it is a place where we have put up more than 100 of our courses. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but the beginner quilting one is free to take. You can watch all of the content on there, technically without signing up for the class. But if you create an account, and this is a different website than our shopping website, so you do need to create a different account you can use your same email and password if you like, but you do need to create a new account for it, and then it will keep track of your progress and what courses you have going on. So we highly suggest you do that. Give it a go, especially for the beginner course. A lot of times what we hear from people is that they don't know like what video comes next. And this one lays it all out there for you. You know exactly what you've done already and what needs to happen next, and everything is in order. And you can always just go back and watch some more. So like if say you forget how to do binding, it's been a while, you can just go to the binding lesson and just watch that one if you like. But definitely check that out. It's going to take you through everything you know to learn to quilt, from reading a pattern, choosing the supplies you need, cutting everything out, sewing that accurate quarter inch seam, sewing the block we're making for the quilt, how to assemble the quilt top, how to layer and baste it, quilt it, bind it, and care for it. So it is absolutely everything you need. And each quilt course comes with a special coupon code that is a one-time use that you can use to get the supplies you need to get started. So that works on any supplies you don't have, as well as quilt kits. So you can save 20% on any of the quilts we show you in a little bit. But first, let's get to Comfort and Joy from Moda Fabrics. So this is just an epically huge holiday collection. There are very few repeats on here because there are 29 fabrics in this collection. So we have got some strip rolls. I think we're going to be down by 4 before we even send this out to you, because our team saw them and was like, yes, they need to have a home in my house. So we're down by about 4 before we even send this email out to you. So I don't know that these are going to last super long, because it is really easy to make like holiday quilts to go placemats with these and just have a really fun projects to go with them. And there's no shortage of jelly roll quilts out there. But let's take a look at the entire collection so you can see it a little better. So we have a lot of video tutorials on Christmas ideas. And while it is May and 80 degrees and I'm wearing a tank top while filming this, now is about the time that the Christmas fabrics start to hit quilt shops, because they know you need time to make things. And one thing that I think I really would like to do this year is have some fabric gift wrap. And we've got a video that shows you how to do that. Once July comes out, we're going to work on getting all of those videos up on our Quilt Addicts Anonymous Academy so you guys can watch them there. But this would be absolutely fabulous as that fabric gift wrap. What we have done, by the way, for this, because the collection is so large, is we have yardage available for you. And then we have 3 options for fat quarter bundles. You can get the whole thing if you like it as one fat quarter bundle, or you can choose between just getting the reds, the blues, or the greens as a fat quarter bundle. So you can mix and match or get the whole thing. It really just depends on what you are looking for. But this one in particular would be great, and we do have a video tutorial that shows you how to do this from fat quarters. So I think this would make a great little gift wrap as well. This print actually reminds me of an art gallery print from like 8-9 years ago. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's really fun because they're like going over the hill and through the woods, you know, to grandmother's house we go. But it's all of the Christmas colors that we're going to see throughout the quilt, so this would make a really fun multicolored print. Next, we have some holly berries. This one has a nice green hue to it, but it definitely is a light background. So you can do that if you're looking for color values. This would err on the lighter side of things. This one is very pretty as well. We have some poinsettia leaves. We have more holly berry. We've got lots of lovely little florals that evoke Christmas to you. I think this is supposed to be a Christmas cactus in bloom. It's really fun, and I think this would make a good light value print in a holiday quilt. This one has a bunch of, it looks like paint splatters. It looks like you just dropped little watercolor prints all over, and this one has more of that blue-green colors to it. This is technically a basic that they have included in it, and it's called, from the collection, Flow, and it really is gorgeous. It looks like a watercolor, but it really matches really well with the colors of this collection. So it's going to do a really good job of giving the eye a place to rest among some of those other busier prints. Here's that kind of over the woods one again, except this one is all in green tonal. So again, that's going to be a really good one to kind of give the eye a place to rest. Here's that word print again that we started with, but this one is all your green mottled background and white words. I feel like if you were going to have Christmas somewhere warm, this would be perfect for it. It's the poinsettia prints, but that blue background reminds me of just some sort of tropical location, like if you're having Christmas in Hawaii or something. I think that would be really fun. So now we're kind of getting into the blue greens. And so you can see we have lots of pine trees here, but we have green, we have more of a seafoam green, and then we have definitely blue. So we got some blue spruce in there too for you. Here's that holly and mistletoe print again, just this time we have a blue background. Here's that blue print again with the green splatters, but this time it's the blue background. Here's that Flow basic, but as you can see, it works absolutely perfect with the blue colors that are within this collection. Here's our kind of over the river and through the woods prints again, but this time it is in that blue colorway, but we're starting to get into the deeper blues. Here's our word print again, this time with a deeper blue, like kind of ocean blue background. And then the words for the print, I feel like I need a little bit of each one of these to start my handmade or my fabric wrapping paper collection. This is my favorite colorway so far of this print, where you can clearly see that there are rivers and mountains and trees throughout. I think it's really, really gorgeous. I could see this as both a garment and as in a quilt or wrapping paper. Here's our splatter again, this time with a deep blue background, and that green really pops against it. This one just seems like one of those evenings where you just need to light a fire, cozy up with your latest quilt, and just watch the snow fall down. I think that would be absolutely perfect, and that's what this gives me the feeling of when I look at this print. Here's our holly and mistletoe print again with that really deep blue background. We've got our holiday flower showcase again, and those blooms are really popping against this deep blue background. Here's our poinsettia leaves, and my gosh, is this a gorgeous print. This, again, fabric gift wrap all the way for this one. It'll be so pretty under the tree. This looks like a Christmas cactus in bloom, and fun little tidbit about me, I actually have my great-grandmother's Christmas cactus that I got from my grandma when she passed away, and it is now in my care to keep it going and keep it blooming for years to come. Here is that Flow basic again, but my gosh, does it work absolutely perfectly with this collection. The red with this red and the painterly qualities of those florals, absolutely perfect. Here is our word print again, this time with a red background and white letters. This one is also really pretty with that kind of over the river and through the woods look, but with that plain white against the red background, it's just really stunning, really pretty. Here's our Christmas cactus again, this time with a white background. We've got our poinsettia leaves, this time with a white background. We have our words again, this time with red letters and a white background. And we are going to wrap it up with a red splatter with a white background. Like I said, Comfort and Joy is a massively huge holiday collection from Moda Fabrics. We have it on yardage. We have fat quarter bundles that include absolutely everything. We have fat quarter bundles that are just green, just blue, and just red, so you can mix and match what you want. And then we have the strip roll. So lots of options for you to create the quilt of your dreams for this holiday season. And since it is only May, you have plenty of time to actually make that happen and use it this year. All right, now we're going to take a look at our brand new stack of new split 9 patch kits that you guys can check out for our beginner quilting course. Just a reminder that this is a completely free course that walks you through everything you need to know to make a quilt. So you can now watch this and keep track of your progress on our brand new education website, academy.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. It is a separate website from our shopping website. So if you have a login on our shopping website, you will need to create a a new one on Quilt Addicts Anonymous Academy because it is a completely different website. This one is completely focused on helping you learn to quilt. And our beginner quilting course is and will always be free for you. So you also get a coupon code when you take it that will allow you to get your kit and any other of our beginner quilting supplies for 20% off, and you'll be able to see that within the course materials. So a lot of times the questions that I got from folks, which is kind of what inspired this new website, was they didn't know what video to take next when they were taking the series. It was kind of hard to figure out if they were watching on YouTube. This one has everything laid out for you. You can track your progress as long as you enroll in the course. You technically can watch any video without creating an account, but it will only keep track of your progress if you create one, and then you'll be able to see it in your course dashboard. So really great. We highly suggest you check it out. We're very proud of it. We just launched it very quietly a couple weeks ago. So we're going to be talking to you more about it as time goes on, so you guys can check that out and learn as much as you can and have easily searchable for the techniques that you want to get to know. So we're going to start with Refresh. This was a line that came out from Moda Fabrics. They are the modern division of Northcott Fabrics. And this one is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous and is going to make a nice spring summer quilt. And the best thing about the split 9 patch pattern, besides it being free and having all the videos to teach you how to do it, is you can get through it fairly quickly. It's a lap size quilt. It is not super challenging to do. So if you are a beginner quilter, it's something you absolutely can tackle. And if you are an advanced quilter, this is a weekend project for you. So you can get that whipped out, have some fun with it, have it to enjoy all summer long. Let's take a closer look at the fabric. This one is really pretty. It has different types of brush strokes and textures on it, and it's in that really deep green. So this is going to look really good at providing some contrast with some of the lighter tones that we have coming up. This one has also kind of looks like brush strokes, but it's kind of in a stripe. So we have a really lighter brush stroke here and kind of a darker brush stroke here. So depending on where it gets cut and placed, it's going to look kind of different, which is really going to add some fun texture and interest to your quilt. This one is really pretty too. It's just a bunch of brush strokes, but it kind of has a floral quality to it. And we're starting to see some of those peaches as well that we'll see in some of the other fabrics. Next up, we have a deeper pink, and again, we're continuing that little brush stroke theme, and it really is gorgeous. It is really going to contrast really well and give you some dimension because we have a bunch of different color values represented here, which will make your quilt more interesting. Lastly, we have a small scale floral, and this one looks like there's just little tiny scribbles for the petals. It is really pretty. Again, going to provide some good contrast to what we have going on here. The pinks in these really coordinate really well with the pink in this deeper one. It's going to make a great quilt. Now we have a second colorway of Refresh that I think you guys are going to like. This first one that I showed you is more pink. This one is more in the peach family, so we're going to take a peek at that next. This to me is the show-stopping print. We really get a good look at all of the florals, but again, it's not like a really defined floral. It's more abstract in the way that the brush strokes create the petals. It's really pretty. We saw this print in pink on the last version. This one is in a really medium value green. Looks gorgeous and helps us give a step down from this deeper value print. Here's where we start to see more of that peach in action. Where we saw pink petals before, this one has those peach orangey petals, and the background has more cream qualities to it than pink. Here's that abstract brush stroke again that kind of looks like flower petals, but instead of seeing pink and green, we have peach and kind of some orange tangerine in there, and even some kind of fuchsia that borders on orange. It's really gorgeous. And we're going to wrap it up with this textured print that definitely is in the peach color family. So here are your two options for Refresh. We have our pinks and we have our peaches. We're going to move on to a new collection next. Next up, we have Prairie Song by Wish Well, Leslie Tucker Jensen for Robert Kaufman Fabrics. This is a digital print. It's a very soft, lightweight one that is beautiful to work with, and I'm going to give it a closer look at everything next. Wish Well's prints have like a urban texture slash spray painted graffiti look to them. So this one is kind of like evocative of like potholed streets or something, but with that Prairie Song coloring vibe of wheat field. So it's really kind of a fun juxtaposition. This one is really fun. It's like it was created using a resist. where we have blocked out in white these, they look like dandelions that have gone to seed all over the place. We have these that kind of like gears or something mechanical, but it is really fun how we see that with the juxtaposition of the really graphic and kind of rusty colors of this. It really is a fun collection to work with. This is a different print, but it has a lot of the same elements with that dandelion that's gone to seed with a few sprigs, and then still those dark brown colors, but not like Civil War brown, like a very modern brown. Really is gorgeous. Here's that first print we looked at. Just this time it is in blue and kind of a rusty orangey brown. It's really pretty. And we're gonna wrap it up with this really rusty brown with blue dots running through it. And again, depending on where those squares get cut, it's gonna look different based on where those dots are placed and give a lot of visual interest to your quilt. All right, so that is Prairie Song, and that is the split 9 patch for that collection. Next up, we have Lush and Lively, also from Figo, the modern arm of Northcott Fabrics. I believe they're celebrating their 5-year anniversary this year, so happy birthday to you guys. This one is also one that is really bright and fun and is going to make a great quilt to have out in the spring and summer. Let's take a closer look at the fabrics. First up, we have some beautiful wildflowers in blue, yellow, and orange. Next, we have this really pretty dot print in orange, yellow, and red. This one is absolutely gorgeous. It's a mix between abstract and also being able to tell that they were going for florals in here. And this is going to be a really fun one because it's going to look like it's on the diagonal when we cut our squares from this. It's going to be so pretty. This stripe is also really, really fun, and if you manage to get this kit, you're gonna get some extra because it looks like we had a wonky cut on that first one. So you get extra of this one, so that'll be real fun. This is another one that's gonna look different depending on where it is in your quilt and where the squares get cut, but it is gonna look great with that blue and orange stripe running through it. And we are going to wrap it up with a large scale blue and orange floral. I shouldn't say large, it's kind of medium. The two of them are about the size of the palm of my hand. I have small hands. I've definitely seen larger like Anna Maria does, huge florals, but it is going to be big and that you probably are going to have it look like this once we get our squares cut out of it, and it's going to be fabulous. All right, so that is Lush and Lively that you can get a split 9 patch kit for. I have 2 more to show you. This is like my favorite of all of them because it has my BFF shell Rummel in here and it looks absolutely fantastic. This one is really pretty. There are sand dollars throughout it in varying sizes, and we have those deep blues, teals, a little bit of green in there, and it is just really a fun, calming print. This one also to me looks a little bit like sand dollars. We have more of a sagey tealy green for our background here, but it looks fabulous next to the modeled prints in our main focus fabric here. Now this is the same print we started with that deep blue and the greens, but this time we have some oranges and yellows, and we still have that deep blue in there for contrast, but this one is just equally as gorgeous and will provide lots of great contrast in your quilt. This one kind of is meant to look like the lines that are created in the sand as the waves come in and out. And it is just really pretty, really gorgeous. It's kind of a blender within a collection, which is going to help draw your eye to other parts of orange within the quilt and then also contrast really well with the blue. And for our final fabric in this quilt, we have some beautiful florals in lighter shades and in values of those oranges, yellows, kind of similar to what we see here, but even lighter yet. And it really is absolutely gorgeous, and this quilt is going to be fantastic. All right, so this is our shell Rummel version of our split 9 patch. And we are going to wrap it up with hats for cats. This is for all of our cat lovers out there. This one is for you guys. This one kind of looks like a bunch of little pebbles in there. You could call them yarn balls, maybe too, but this is going to make a great accent for that little square within the quilt. Next, we have our hats in the cats. And if you want to know a way to make sure that all the cats' heads are facing upward in the final quilt, get the nocturne version of this. The inches are just a tiny bit smaller because it was adjusted to meet the size of the owl in my fabric collection Nocturne, but we have figured out where this needs to be placed within your block so that all the owl heads are pointing upward, and you can do the same thing to make sure all of your cat heads are pointing upward as well. Now for this one, we have some cats in hats hiding among different succulents and houseplants, probably waiting to knock them over when you're not looking, or when you are, just to be salty. But this is a cute, fun one. And you cannot have a cat print or cat line without paw prints, so that's what we have on this one. And here we have cats causing mischief as they jump up on tables and windows. Actually, I think it's all windows, but it does look a little bit like a table depending on where they're going. But they're jumping into various windows with flower pots in them, and I'm sure causing mischief and threatening to knock those over as well. And I just want to call attention to the selvage on this one. It's really cute. It looks like little yarn balls with all the colors that are in that collection. All right, so here we have hats for cats. Again, great for those animal lovers out there, specifically the kitty cat lovers. This is a fun one to make, and you can get all these over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. And if you would like to take the beginner quilting course, you can do so over at our brand new website, academy.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. One final reminder that that is a completely separate website from our shopping website. So if you would like to take a course, you will need to create a new account and password for you to be able to keep track of your course progress on there. We think you're gonna love it. This course happens to be free. Some of the others have small prices to go with them, and we think that you guys are gonna love it. So make sure you poke around in there and maybe see what you wanna learn next. All right, until next time, happy quilting.